Hello and welcome to Talk My Way Out. I am your host, Jeff Martin, and this is episode number 1. I did a lot of thinking about how I wanted to do this first one. And, after some soul searching, I was like, let's just do this very intimate. Just me, you guys, no crew, no fancy intros, no fancy music. That's all to come. And we got some amazing guests lined up as well. But I just wanted to kind of do this thing like a fireside chat. Let me and you just, get to know each other a little bit, let you know what this whole Talk My Way Out thing is going to be about. And, just kind of give an overview of, and maybe a little bit of background on myself and where I see this thing going. So, as I said, my name is Jeff Martin. Real name is Jeffrey Martin Smith. I'm a professional voice actor, and I go by Jeff Martin, hence the Jeff Martin. Let's just keep it all cohesive. And serial entrepreneur, weight loss guy. I lost 235 pounds in the last 4 years. Really became addicted to fitness and bettering myself and personal development as a whole. And, this has been such a journey for me. It has been such a deep journey for the last, several years. And I cannot even tell you how many times I tried, how many times I failed, how many times I would start over. But every time when I started, I would always start to inspire people. And this time I really took it to the limit. I just recently had skin removal surgery, and that was amazing to get to that point. And, more and more people just kept reaching out to me and wanting to know more about my journey, asking if I could help them. And what I wanted to do was create a platform where we could just get together and we could become better, and this whole adulting thing is so hard. Like 2020 was hard for so many people. And it seems like now more than ever, people are looking inward. The outside world is crazy and it's scary. And, people are looking inward and they want more, and that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted more. I was tired of where I was at, and I was just, I had enough, and I decided to change my whole life. And I just want to tell people that you can do it too. You absolutely can do it too. I'm not superhuman. I'm a regular guy, and as you'll find out in a little bit, I'm just going to open it up. Because what I want to do with this podcast is, let me get a sip of water here. Hopefully I won't be too long-winded, but what I want to do with this podcast is I want to make you a promise that I'm going to be real, I'm going to be raw, I'm going to be honest. If I don't know the answer to a question, I will try to find it for you. I'll try to bring in experts in here that can, answer your questions correctly. And what I can do is just tell you what I've learned, over time and, the struggles that I've faced. And I've had some, a bunch of you that are watching this are my friends. And, I'm probably going to let some cats out of the bag that you don't even know about me. And it's because I think so many people in general, live this fake life, this online life. And, I really made a promise to myself with the podcast, with going into the new year. I want to be my real authentic self. And I think the biggest problem with most of us is we're not doing that. We really lie. Like in a whole, giant universe, we lie to ourselves constantly. I know I did. When I was 460 pounds, in my head, I thought I was fit. Like I really did. Like, because it wasn't affecting me. Like I was still walking upstairs and carrying stuff and building businesses. And I was doing these things, even at a heavier weight. And the thing was, I was dying. I was slowly dying. I was dying on the couch. I was not living life. I was depressed. I was sad. And, I just, gave up, for the most part. And about 4.5 years ago, I decided it's enough. I'm going to fight. I'm going to crawl. I'm going to scream. I'm going to just dig my way out of this hole. And there's so many people out there. And it's not just fitness. I mean, mentally, financially. Like there's so many people that are just burdened by the weight that they carry. And a lot of it comes down to just lying to yourself. You know, there's nothing. The one thing that this journey has taught me, there is nothing that you cannot handle. Absolutely. So, getting into my story a little bit, in high school, I was an athlete. I played football, I played baseball. Grew up just super active outside. Just had, I love sports. Absolutely. And then, I was in Boy Scouts. I got all the way to Eagle Scout, and it was a big part of my life, just being active, being outdoors. I would go play in the woods for hours. I grew up in upstate New York. And me and my friends, I mean, God, like if we would just go until the sun went down, and then the next morning we'd be out there again, just climbing and hiking and just doing all sorts of things. And so I led an active lifestyle, and then I had a football injury, and it really sidelined me. I tore my MCL, my ACL, and I was in a leg brace for months and months and months. And it just depressed me because I just didn't know what I was going to do after that. It seemed like life changed. I got depressed. I put on some weight. And then getting right out of high school, it just seemed like I consecutively, put 10, 15 pounds on year after year. Like the freshman 15 carried on for the next 25 for me. And, I was always a driven entrepreneurial type person. And I just sidelined it. I didn't put myself first. I put my businesses, I put my pursuit of money, I put all those things first instead of paying myself first. And we'll get more into that in a little bit, but that really is what I live by now. I pay myself first before I pay or do anything for anyone else. I start my day off, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I get that workout in. I pay myself first. And we'll go a little bit more into that concept in just a little bit. But moving on, I went through my teens, kept gaining weight, got into my 20s, kept gaining weight, 30s, kept gaining weight. And it wasn't until I was in my 40s, early 40s, I started to feel it, and the real turning point for me was I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And at that point in time, the last time I weighed myself, and I just stopped after it because I was just shell-shocked. 460 pounds was the biggest that I ever weighed, that I actually saw. I mean, I very well could have got bigger after that, but, 460 pounds. Yeah, that was a lot. And it was a lot of emotional weight too, because inside I saw myself as I see myself now, a hard worker, a warrior, like, just getting up and getting it done. And, at 460 pounds, I thought I was a badass still. I was like, nobody mess with me, and I was just slowly dying. It was sad. And I'm going to show you guys this picture here. I keep this as kind of like a reminder every now and then. I go back to it. And when I look at this photo, I don't see me. I see a sad, sad, sad man. And the other ironic thing of this actual photo that I look at, I literally look at it whenever I feel like I've slipped up or I'm slowing down or something. I was on vacation. Like I was on vacation with friends and family, people that loved me. And I was in the middle of it, a night out. And I look that sad. And that it brings me back to where I was mentally, like I would always be the funny fat guy. Like I would joke around. I mean, people that know me, I've always had a great sense of humor. I always messed around. And, a lot of that was self-deprecating. It was just hiding, the pain and the stress and I didn't think I had a way out. And that was kind of instrumental in what I named this, with me being a voice actor. And I kind of talked to myself. I talked my way out of that path that I was going to, and I talked my way in to my current path now. And, I just want to, I want to serve and I want to help people and I want to bring them to their point where they talk their way out. It's so hard to put into words the pride that I have in myself. You know, when I go back and I look at that photo and I look at like where I was, and you know, I was slowly dying, you know, and now I'm so full of life, and I have so much energy, and you know, I'm doing things now at 45 years old that I didn't do when I was 25 years old, and there's a magic to that, and you know, I never ever thought I would come this far, and you know, so many people are just stuck. They're really stuck. And my whole idea with this podcast was to create a platform where we could discuss things together, come together. You know, this isn't a rah, 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 look at me, what I did. It's me. I just feel called to do this. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I feel called to help other people do it. And that's why I spent the money on the studio. That's why, you know, I'm adding something else onto my very busy schedule. And I just literally, if I could help one person find the, I don't even know what the word is, oasis that I found, I truly have never felt more alive than I do now. And I challenge myself to do things that I never, ever thought. This week, I ran 10.5 miles. 10.5 miles in one session. And I remember before I even tried to do that, like I think the most I ever did on a treadmill was maybe a mile and a half, and I was dying. And I'm training for the Spartan Beast. And I you know, that's 13.1 miles, 30 obstacles, and I'm just really trying to push my limits because, you know, someone asked me the other day, they're like, "Hey, are you done now? Now that you got the surgery?" You know, I'm wearing 36 pants, which I wore in high school. They're like, "Are you done?" And I'm like, "I'm nowhere close to being done. I want to see how far I can take this now. How fit can I get?" You know, because every pound that comes off is like, it's like taking another like backpack of emotional pain off. And as I was talking about my story, you know, I just got to a point where I just kept eating and emotionally eating. And that's really where mine was. You know, I would just overeat the wrong things. I wasn't really like a cake and ice cream sort of dude. You know, I was just, you know, it'd be like pasta night at home and I would have 3 plates of pasta, or, you know, I'd eat half a pizza, or, you know, it was those type of things. It wasn't like sneaking off and having sweets and all those type things, but it caught up with me, you know, because I was feeding my emptiness instead of, you know, taking care of who I was. And the weird thing is now I tell people, you know, they're like, "Oh, are you on a crazy diet?" I was like, I actually eat more now than when I was 460 pounds. I actually do. Like sometimes it's hard to get in all the protein when you're trying to bulk up and, you know, get stronger. You know, trying to get 200 grams of protein in you per day. It's like sometimes, you know, it's struggling. Like watch any of the bodybuilder diet plans. They'll tell you. I'm like, "Oh, you're just stuffing food in 24/7." And so that part of it, we're going to get into that. I'm going to bring in a nutritionist. We're going to talk about that. And, you know, I'm also going to feature people with just amazing, amazing stories. You know, people tell me that my story is remarkable. You know, 235 pounds, lost it in 4.5 years. And I didn't set out to be remarkable. I didn't set out to do something that other people didn't do. I just set out to save me, if that makes sense. Because I was going to die. I absolutely was going to die. It's just emotional because that's what it was. And I thought about how my daughter would feel. You know, she looks up to me. You know, we're best friends. And I'm like, what if I wasn't going to be here for her? Sorry. It's just, that was the catalyst for me. People ask me all the time, they're like, "What was it for you? What was it?" And I was like, I was going to die. You don't see 460-pound 80-year-olds. You don't see, elderly people on my 600-pound life. And that's where I was headed. And I wasn't going to leave my daughter alone. She's been fit her whole life. And, she's been an athlete, the athlete that I wanted to be. And, she was instrumental in, I got thin on my own. I became athletic with the help of my daughter. And, she brought me to the gym, and she knew if she got me in ISI, that's where I go. And, she's like, she knew if she could get me in there and got me into that group scenario of people, like-minded people, I would revert back to like that football team mentality and just want to work and work and work. And that really has been my last year and a half. So I can't thank her enough, for getting me in there. And, but you don't need that. Like I said, I lost my first 100 pounds. I lost without even working out. I just set some rules for myself. I said, I will not eat anything out of a box. I will not eat anything out of a can. And when you set that rule for yourself, that takes away 80% of the bad crap that you can put in your body. It really does, because then it forces you to eat real food. And that was what I did for the first probably 12 to 14 months. And that's how I lost my first 100 pounds of the 235, was just eating real food. And then it's crazy when you're not eating empty calories. And that was my next step, is like, I don't drink my calories. I'll do, with my coffee in the morning, I'll do a sugar-free creamer in it, a little bit. And then, unsweet tea or water. I try to stay away from diet sodas. I used to drink so many. I have one every couple days or so, but like, for the most part, it's water, unsweet tea. I try to drink a gallon and a half of water a day. And it's just making little choices over a long period of time, and people ask me, how do you do it? How'd you lose 235? I'm like, 90% of it's right here. And, for example, I've had people say, oh, I wish I was you. Now, let me ask you this question. If you were able to Freaky Friday, switch with me right now and go into my body that I've been working nonstop for 4.5 years, would you have the mental strength to do what I do day in, day out? And not only that, would you be able to up the level to bring my body, your body, further? And that's the whole thing, is there is no magic bullet. You have to go through the pain and the pride. And I just took it day by day. There was days that I woke up and I just basically wanted to cry, because my body hurt so bad trying to, get out of bed and trying to go do a workout or go another mile or do this. But, it got easier. It got easier over time. It's like, you see somebody who's really athletic, they sweat just like you do. It doesn't get any easier. You just get stronger. And that makes a big difference. And I really think there is no silver bullet. There is no diet pill you're going to take. I consistently would start, lose 20 pounds, stop, gain 30 pounds, stop, gain another 10 pounds. And that was my pattern for probably 20 years. It would be that. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to do it. Now's my time. And the whole thing, New Year's resolutions, throw that out the window. I don't even remember exactly the date when I did it, but it was nowhere near New Year's. It might as well have been a Wednesday in the middle of summer. I don't remember exactly, but start tomorrow. If you really want it, if you want to change your life, start tomorrow. And that goes for relationships. That goes for everything. I think in life, we're so used to sitting in a state of comfortable uncomfortability. Like, it's okay. Like, you're okay with being uncomfortable because you've done it so long that you don't know any different, and like I said, I was like, when I was 400 pounds, I thought I was fit. I can handle it. I'm big bone. There are no big bones. There's no big bones. It's just, what did my bones shrink now that I'm smaller? I mean, you tell yourself things to make you feel better to avoid doing the work. And what I'm saying is, do the work. Do the work. There's so many people. I mean, I read an article that said like 82% of the people in the world hate their jobs. And that's where I go to the pay yourself first, is like, you'll go give some company or place that you work at 8 hours of your life, 8 hours of your life, and you won't give yourself 1 hour. How many kids, are out there that play video games 3, 6, 7 hours a day? Just imagine if they put 1 hour into themselves a day. And that doesn't have to be exercise. That could be, personal development or reading or learning a new skill, or, but we'll sit there and try to beat that level over and over and over and over again. Or, play Fortnite over and over and over again. I don't even know a game console, because like I knew I would be hooked to it if I did. So, but that's just another example, a job that you don't like, but you'll do it just because you get paid. Well, pay yourself first, because in the long run, the way I looked at it, if I can extend my life, I can extend how much longer I get to make money, how much more I can leave for my family, how much lower my medical costs are going to be. You truly are paying yourself. When the gym, when I got 2 gym memberships, and somebody's like, "Oh, that's expensive." You know what was expensive? My diabetes medicine. That was $700 a month because I didn't have insurance. Being self-employed, I didn't have insurance. So I'd have to pay $700 a month for my diabetes medicine. I don't pay an eighth of that for my gym memberships. And like I said, I'm truly blessed. I got a clean bill of health. I was able to drop the weight, and actually I reversed my diabetes because, when I hit it hard as soon as I found out I had it. And even the doctor said, as healthy as I am, no signs of it whatsoever. If I go off the rails and just start eating like I used to, she goes, very good chance it comes back. It might not be gone, but your body's making enough, insulin to support itself. And so I'm never going back. I'm never going back. We get 86,400 seconds a day. And how many are you just going to give to you? And somebody gave me the best compliment ever. It was like a couple of weeks ago. A woman was asking me for like fitness tips, and then she goes, "Well, what can I do?" She's like, "Not everybody can be David Goggins." And if you don't know who David is, he was 300 and some odd pounds, and he worked as a pest control guy, and he had a dream to become a Navy SEAL. So he went and tried to go to the recruiter, and they're like, "No, absolutely not." And Navy SEAL training was 3 months away. And the guy jokingly said, he's like, "Hey, you lose 100 pounds, come back and we'll put you to the program." And David lost 100 pounds in 3 months. Not saying that's healthy, but he was over 300 pounds, worked his tail off, made himself a Navy SEAL. And he's also known, quote unquote, the fittest man in the world now. He had the world record for amount of chin-ups in a 24-hour period. He beat the Navy SEAL, the Army Ranger, and the Air Force, like, physical fitness tests. Like, he shattered the records on all of them. And this guy he just said, "Hey, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL." And so she said to me, she's like, "Not all of us can be David Goggins." And I was like, absolutely, you're right. Because at one point in time, David Goggins wasn't David Goggins. I wasn't me, and I try to equate it to no matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're feeling. And I know this is like real fitness heavy because, I mean, this one in general is just kind of like telling my story, but you might not feel like enough. You might feel ugly. I felt ugly. I didn't like my pictures being taken. I didn't like people tagging me in photos on Facebook. It's weird because you want to put up this front, and again, it's lying to yourself. I hated shopping for clothes. I had to go to the DXL. I had to go to the big boy store and or special order. My pants at my biggest I wore a 58, and now I'm 36. I can go shop off the shelf, and that feels amazing. But I felt ugly. I didn't feel worthy. I felt just ashamed, wondering how my family thought of me, and it's a dark place. It is a dark place to be. But you know what? It made me think, and I was like, think about a caterpillar. A caterpillar they're not very good looking. They're kind of doughy. They just eat all day, every day, and they just eat and eat and eat. And there are some cute caterpillars, but they normally turn into like really ugly moths. But most ugly caterpillars, they finally change and they become beautiful butterflies. And it's a interesting concept when you think about it, that something that isn't very attractive, and I'm not saying it's about looks. I'm just saying in general, like wherever you are, if you're slow like a caterpillar, if you eat constantly like I did, like a caterpillar, or didn't see yourself as a beautiful butterfly, you can make a decision and you can turn into that butterfly and you can fly. You can fly so high. I am such a different person now. And it's amazing. And the great thing with the caterpillar is it's nature. No one came to that caterpillar one day and said, hey, you need to change into something more. Nature knew that it needed to change into the butterfly. And I think part of all of us, that's why we struggle so much, is because we know we can be more. We can fly as high as we want to go. But so many times we just settle, and we settle for less. You could be in a bad relationship and you're like, it's too much work to try to break it off. If you're not happy, it's not serving you. If you're not happy with your body, it's not serving you. If you're not happy with your finances or your job, it's not serving you. We get one shot at this, like I said, 86,400 seconds a day, and you don't get them back. Tomorrow is one day less. There's two goalposts in our life: the day you're born and the day you die. And it doesn't matter if you're here. If you decide to make a change, you can change the whole trajectory of that end date. Hopefully, knock on wood, pray to God, I extended the goalposts so I'm here a lot longer. And if I could do that for one person, it's done deal. But I just implore you to make sure you subscribe to the channel. I didn't want to do this one all bells and whistles and all that. I didn't want to get right into another person. I wanted to kind of just have a one-on-one, heart-to-heart. You guys saw me tear up a little bit because I'm passionate about it. Like, it's just, I believe anybody can achieve anything. I truly do. And it comes with hard work. It comes with dedication. If I can tell you one thing, it's consistency. Be consistent with what you eat. Be consistent with how much you work out. Set a plan. Tell yourself. I do dumb little things. Like if I want to do 4 miles, I'll be like, all right, you can't talk to your daughter unless you do 4 miles. And I love talking to my daughter, so of course I'm going to do 4 miles. But look around you. Look at the people who care about you. Look at the life you have. They're worth it. You're worth it. And I think when you get to the point, I had a really good friend tell me, you just got to know your worth. And I'm worth so much more than what I was living before. And that drives me. That fires me up. Like, I get out of the bed excited, and I'm not going to lie to you. It's not every day I'm like, woo, let's go work out. I mean, there's days that I'm 45, and I'm just beating up my body, but it's growing, it's responding, it's getting stronger. Like I said, you see a fit person working out next to you, they're sweating too. It doesn't stop. You just get stronger. And I think you need to go through the metamorphosis. You got to go in, like the caterpillar, you got to be in that cocoon of just finding out who you are, setting goals, meeting them, setting goals, meeting them. I am such a different person. I cannot tell you. Like, I think clearer in business. I make better decisions. My life has turned around. And here's another one. I found out 2 years ago, and I went my whole life undiagnosed. I found out 2 years ago, I have Asperger's. Autistic. I'm fully on the spectrum. I also have a very high IQ level when I was tested, and that covers a lot of the autism. But I struggle every day to stay focused. With me, like, going undiagnosed for the longest time, my therapist said, basically I developed my own coping mechanism that if I kept my high IQ side super entertained and engaged, hence nonstop entrepreneur, just like driving, it keeps the autistic side at bay. But when that autistic side comes up, I used to literally become so overwhelmed, I would just shut down. I would disappear from my friends. I would, even doing this right now with you guys, it's a struggle for me. But now I have an answer. I didn't have an answer for 43 years. But now I can talk my way out and say, hey, is this my hindrance on that side, or is it real? And I legit, I never knew. And just having that answer, by being brave enough to finally go, and I was just getting to the point where I was just shutting down, and I would have to almost like unplug and like reboot like a computer. And I thought there was something wrong with me. For most of my life, I felt like an outcast. Like I felt like I didn't belong. I felt like there wasn't other people like me. I felt, like a lot of times, when I'm talking back and forth with someone, I have difficulty in, I'm listening to you, but I'm also trying to process to be able to engage in conversation. So a lot of times it looks like I'm not, engaged or listening to you. And it's really, that's part of it. But, my therapist, she said something that just hit home with me. She's like, everything that makes you exceptional is also what hinders you. And it's finding the balance between those two things, between the two goalposts, that allows me to do the things that I do. Because a lot of times, career-wise, voicing stuff, being the voice of Fox in Asia, doing the, working with these big companies and all these things, people are like, oh my God, you're so lucky. You have it so easy. Everything you touch, is gold. I struggle daily, and trying to be committed and trying to be engaged and trying to, I have problems with dates and, like times get away with me and stuff like that. So yeah, I struggle too. I lost my father in August, and I really worried about, stress eating, and I worried about those things, but I got through it, with the help of my family and just, talking my way out of it. So I just wanted to take this opportunity on this first episode to, just be honest with you, be open, tell you, where I see this thing going. And I really think we got a good thing here. I'm going to bring in some amazing people. I got a great nutritionist who's going to be coming in the next couple of weeks. I got some amazing stories of people just overcoming, huge obstacles. And my hope is to inspire you to just be the best you. Like I said, get into personal development. That's a huge part of my life. I read so many books and just try to better myself. And to me, I just feel called to do this. Like, I want to pay it forward. I want to inspire other people to be the best versions of themselves. I'm not a superhero. I'm a regular guy that lost a lot of weight. And I just got more to give. And I know that. So, I don't want to be selfish and just, not spend time with people or talk to people when I know that I have a story to share, that I can help other people and we can talk our way out of it. So that's going to do it for this one. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys rambling on. I just wanted to sit down and have this personal, one-on-one for this first episode. And we got a new episode coming up next week. If you're watching this online, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button there. And that way you'll be updated on all the other stuff. We're launching the website soon. And until then, just pick something small, man. Pick something that you need to do and just do it. Whether that's diet, whether it's, repairing a relationship with someone, maybe the person you live with, maybe you guys are to the point you're just like roommates and, rekindle it. Do something, you know what I mean? Do something that significantly impacts your life this week. And all the other stuff, the working out, tips, I got trainers coming in. We'll all get to that, but just sit back and reflect and recognize when you're lying to yourself. Like, I'll get to that tomorrow. No, you won't. Do it now. Do it now. Do it for you. And as a good friend told me, know your worth. You're worth it. So pay yourself first. All right. We'll catch you guys next time, next episode. And until then, talk your way out.